Thanks for joining us back here again. I really hope that we can conspire to not lose our children to slave owners. I'm going to go ahead and apologize because, I have tried, and I'm going to try my best. To not present this real upset, to be professional. But I don't know if I can do it. Because I don't know how to calmly talk about the state taking my sister's children. Taking my brothers and sisters' children. For no reason. You are about to journey with me, hopefully. If you have any inkling to keep any type of property for yourself or posterity like your children, hopefully you'll join us on this journey. Here's where it starts. It starts with the money, because it always does. But take a look at the stamp, at the clerk stamp. Get a real good look at the clerk stamp that says 4 o'clock. Real good look at the clerk stamp that says 4 o'clock on the public notice. If any judge or magistrate, if any man or woman who acts as judge or magistrate signs, issues, warrant, I require $2 million secure bond. Secure for that warrant. And that stamp says February 1st at 3:58 p.m. exactly. Why was that important? I don't know, but you know when I tell you pay attention to those things, they typically will be important. Let's figure out why it's important. Hello?
Hey Johnny, I have police here at my house. They said they have a search warrant. They haven't shown me anything yet. They're looking for possession of marijuana. They pulled me and my friend out of my camper. My girls are telling me they're going to take them to police protective custody because I don't have a family member here right when they want it. I have a friend that is available. They're refusing to allow my friend to take my children.
Did they get marijuana?
That's what they're saying they're looking for.
It doesn't matter if they're looking for it. Do they actually have it? Where's the warrant?
I haven't even seen a search warrant.
Get off the phone right now. Call down to the magistrate's office.
I'm in handcuffs.
Copy.
You're in handcuffs.
Filled out and provided.
Okay, let me just stop this right here. She's in handcuffs. They have a search warrant, not an arrest warrant. They obviously have not found pot yet. Why is she in handcuffs? What crime has she committed? The search warrant's been provided.
Search warrant will be provided. It's here on the premises.
Does it have a bond attached to it?
No, it does not. That comes by way of a booking sheet and whatever crimes are determined to have taken place.
No, a surety bond for damages.
Surety bond, that's not for us. That's for the city.
Okay, let me explain this, because this is going to be a really big part of the story. You see, there's something called the Fourth Amendment. And the Fourth Amendment doesn't give you a right to have a warrant, okay? It does say, here's kind of the parameters the government's supposed to do in law. Like, this is supposed to keep the government in a box, maybe. Anyways, it says, no warrant shall issue but upon oath or affirmation. Right? They shouldn't have issued that warrant. That warrant was completely fraudulent. Now, they used to have to attach bonds to warrants because if that warrant ended up causing a bunch of harm, like, stealing your children, you go execute the bond. And then you'd execute the people who stole your children. But you would execute the bond because that was the real way of keeping the government in the box. You see, that was the real reason why they always wished to have probable cause. Because if they didn't find anything, if they didn't get anything, and you could prove that they didn't really have probable cause, take that bond. Thank you. Mine now. I could imagine how that could have helped the government act a little better. Let's see what else happens.
Yes. My friends are here to get the girls. They have no right to say who I can and cannot get my children to. No, they're not in your custody. They are still my property. They are my property. So what are you guys doing to my kids? You won't even let me see them? I haven't even seen a copy of any warrant. You have no property. You have no paperwork for me.
Problem. We're just going to load you up in a vehicle right now, okay? Okay.
Johnny, what do I do?
I would stay calm and breathe.
Okay.
Stay calm and breathe, and then see what they have as an actual warrant.
So, all right. Who's that on the phone?
I don't know.
Tell him bye.
All right, Johnny, I'll talk to you later.
All right, don't say anything.
All right, tell him bye. I stayed on that call until the officer hung up on me. We have since then gotten the warrant. Let's look at it together, shall we? It says search warrant. And over here it says for court use only. For court use only. Right here in the corner. That's where that stamp's supposed to go. You remember that stamp on that other piece of paper at 4 o'clock? That's where that stamp's supposed to go there. You want to know why? So that we know that this isn't a fraudulent warrant and that it was issued before they searched the house and not after. Because it says here it was issued February 1st of 2021 at 6:05 p.m. So about 2 hours after she filed that piece of paper saying, hey, you gotta attach a bond. You're gonna get a warrant. You gotta attach a bond just in case you come and steal my children. Now, they're saying criminal acts have been committed. I don't know what KSA 215706 is, but I'm sure it's awful. I'm sure it's worth taking your children over. And KSA 215709, I don't know what that is, but I'm sure it's worth taking your kids over. Those numbers sound really official to me. Those letters and those numbers. Let's see what else is within this warrant. We got a judicial signature. It must be official. We got a judicial signature. Christopher Smith. Judge Smith. Judge Smith. Remember Judge Smith. Christopher Smith. Let's look on this third page where it talks about return. This is really interesting. You know how you just heard her on the phone with the cops? Obviously there. You just heard it? Like the recording for real? My friends are here. They could take my children. You don't have the right to take my children. Third page. Check. Left at the place of search and seizure, there being no person available with whom to leave it. If you don't do something about this internet, they're coming for you, your children, and your property next. If we blow this wide open and nobody cares, they're going to know nobody's going to care. This is insane. And let's let's see what they got. Let's see what this search warrant was worth. I mean, she must have had kilos and kilos of cocaine to completely have an illegal search warrant like this, an illegitimate search warrant like this, an unlawful search warrant like this, a fraudulent search warrant like this, and to steal her kids. She must be some huge crack dealer. I mean, they probably want you to look at her skin color. In fact, she's poor. Well, they found 2 glass jars with leafy green substance residue, 1 power battery thing, scales, 1 rolling paper pack, a burnt marijuana cigarette, a black plastic bag containing multiple marijuana cigarettes. But I think it's funny how they just say burnt cigarettes and then they add in marijuana as an afterthought. Like, as if all the other stuff on here wasn't fraudulent enough. I mean, you're taking, like, her cigarette butts and saying that they're roaches? Pink cardboard box containing... I guess the pink cardboard box wasn't actually there because they scratched it out. 2 baggies, containers, burnt marijuana cigarettes, 1 plastic bag containing green leafy vegetation, Altoids tin, 1 smoking device, plastic bag containing burnt marijuana cigarettes. I mean, there's an awful whole lot of burnt marijuana cigarettes for no marijuana of any kind of weight to be around. I mean, you know what this looks like to me? To me, it looks like we didn't find anything. What are we gonna do? Man, let's just start putting freaking all of our roaches together. We gotta charge her with something. We gotta steal her kids for some reason. I would have to say that I've seen a lot of things in my life, but this has kind of taken the cake. Just a little bit. So you would think after all of that finding of nothing more or less, that they would probably, do the correct thing and give her children back. But no, they didn't do that. They held a court hearing. Let's hear what happened.
Vehicle, I'll be with you as soon as I can. So what family member do you?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. This is Judge Smith speaking.
Did you hear that right there? This is Judge Smith speaking. Judge Smith. I mean, Smith's a pretty common last name, but I don't know how many Judge Smiths they have over there.
We are here for attorney. Ms. Vallejos, you have a right to have an attorney represent you in this matter. Would you like for the court to appoint an attorney to represent you?
No.
You wish to represent yourself?
No. I do not know how to represent myself. I'm here present today at court.
My question to you is, do you want an attorney to represent you, or do you want to represent yourself?
No.
The court is going to find that Ms. Vallejos does not understand the court's question. I am going to appoint an attorney to represent Ms. Vallejos
No, I do not
in
wish
this matter.
to have an appointed attorney.
Do you then want to represent yourself, Ms. Vallejos?
I cannot represent myself when I am present here today at court.
Ms. Vallejo, this is not a sovereign citizen action. This is a temporary custody hearing. You have no choices, and I have been very patient asking you those questions. I have asked you a very simple yes or no question.
Incorrect.
I am not. Excuse me, ma'am, I am speaking to let Mr. Metcalf know that he has been appointed to represent Ms. Vallejos.
Let me just break down in common, simple people language what just happened there, because it's pretty insane. He asked her, hey, you wish to get an attorney? You want an attorney? I'll give you an attorney. Take an attorney? No, I'm okay. I'm okay. I don't wish for an attorney. You wish to represent yourself then, huh? No, I'm okay on that too. I'm present. See, what y'all don't know, what he obviously knows, because he's creating a Star Chamber court, which is incredibly scary here in the United States, is that representation of persons in law is a fiction. See, if she's a fiction, then he can be the author. That's why he's the authority. So he's trying to make her a fiction. And that way, he can just write the kids away in his own little book. Sick. This is sick.
Ms. Vallejos, you are welcome to be present on February 17th at 3 o'clock for the next hearing.
See, and again, I've cut a lot of stuff out. But look, when he's talking about the hearing, the next hearing, on the 17th of this month, and I'm going to have, numbers and addresses for you to call down there and ask them what's going on with this case. Unless you want them to come take your children next, of course, So, but he's like, yeah, next time, you can be present. You can be present. You want to know why? Because he's not going to say, next time you can be re-present down here. We're going to have everybody be re-present down here when we're holding court.
We'll have counsel representing you, however, as well.
See, you can be present, but you'll have counsel representing you. Because we can't do anything unless counsel's representing you.
The court will order temporary orders, Mr. Mason. I'm not ordering you this time officially, but we need to make sure that there are orders in place.
Did you just hear that? I'm going to rewind it again for just 1 second. He says, we're going to make a temporary order, but not officially. I'm not officially making an order. There's no order. They just freaking took her kids. There's no court order. There's no process. They just took her kids. And if you stand for them taking her kids, that must mean that you don't care if they come and take yours or your property. And we'll get to that.
The court will order temporary orders, Mr. Mason. I'm not ordering you this time officially, but we need to make sure that there are orders in place. With that being said, the court will be in recess until...
May I speak? May I speak, please? No, may I speak? I believe that the Supreme Court of the United States has defined parental rights as more sacred than property rights. No. And for you to take my property, you have to have a verified complaint. Ooh, he hung up on me. He hung up? Yeah. This fucking asshole hung up on me. Wouldn't even fucking...
Hey, calm down. Put it in writing. Good job at freaking taking the opportunity at the end, because all of that stuff is being recorded. At this point, you just violated your right to due process.
And your right to due process. Because if she doesn't have it, you don't have it.
Now, tell me, I can look at the...
Now, this is the attorney that the court appointed, okay? But just remember, equal protection of the law. If one of us doesn't have the law, none of us have the law.
I can see that a search warrant was executed of a residence, but it doesn't give me a lot of other information as to why children were taken, especially if you're not in custody.
You know about as much as I do. As far as the warrant, what they confiscated, is that what you want to know?
Well, I guess it says in the petition that it was marijuana. Is that correct?
Burnt marijuana, cigarettes, yep.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if it's been tested.
Okay, but I guess what I'm trying to figure out, and you may be confused by this as well, we might be kind of in the same spot. I'll need to try to figure this out.
Okay.
But it seems like that the allegation is that there was marijuana in the home. They did search one. That's fine, but I don't see the
Amount?
I don't see the date. Yeah, I don't see the amount, but I don't see the very specific danger to the children were placed in.
I don't either.
In order to remove,
Sure, sorry.
in order to remove the children, yeah, no, that's fine. In order to remove the children, there's specific findings that have to be made regarding the health and welfare of the children being endangered, and so that's what I'm struggling a little bit to see here. And so I just wondered if there was anything else that I was missing, because just based on the petition, I don't see a very specific danger to the kids unless they have direct access to marijuana. Then maybe so, but unless that was the case, I would think, for the most part, I wouldn't see a specific danger, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
And I think that's where a lot of my frustration stems from, is that I feel that this is wrong. That there should have been more evidence. There should have been more probable cause. There should have been a verified complaint. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. You can come in, take my kids because, and then text me telling me I no longer have custody when we haven't even began court, and I have gotten no notices at all, no written nothing.
Did you hear how he sighs and breathes really heavy before muting on her?
More evidence. There should have been more probable cause. There should have been a verified complaint. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. You can come in.
This is just so obnoxious. Having to listen to this lady who the state took her kids.
No written nothing. That's very unprofessional.
Did you have a court hearing at all?
Yes, I had a court hearing Friday when they appointed me you. I didn't want an attorney at all. I didn't want an attorney.
They just made you get one?
Yep. I told them I didn't want an attorney. I was going to do this myself.
So what you can do, you can. You have to, they can't force you to have an attorney.
They did.
I don't believe. Well, what they can do is appoint you and call standby counsel so you can ask me questions, but you can represent yourself. I've had that happen before.
Okay.
I'm not telling you to do that, but I've been in that situation before in that court in our city, in fact. So I know that's possible if you want to do that.
Well, I'm sure she probably doesn't wish for this guy to be standby counsel, and I'm sure she probably doesn't wish to represent herself. But if we, the internet, can pressure them to have me come out there and be counsel next to her, whisper in her ear, and she can present herself before the court, I bet she would love to do that. I bet she would think that would be wonderful. And then we could put a lot of public spotlight on it, Get to the bottom of this, because it seems really fishy. Because even the attorney is saying, I don't see anything here. Is there something I'm missing? No, we're missing a whole lot too. And this is really scary. Like, if you have any type of Judeo-Christian belief, I'm going to break it to you down in law. Okay? So the state, the executive branch of the state, is praying, they're petitioning, they're praying to the judicial branch of the state for the judicial branch of the state to pass judgment allowing them to enact an executive, to execute a legislative statute of the state, a legislative idol called a statute that replaces this thing the Creator gave us called law with a statute to take this woman's children. So if you have Judeo-Christian beliefs and you're okay with that, you're definitely violating the First Amendment. You're definitely putting a God before your father. If you're going to allow the state to go and take your sister's children, to sacrifice to another God for no reason, there's probably a problem with that. You know, only a slave master, because she wrote him a document saying, hey, if you can go get my kids, great, go get them, bring them back here. I'll accept them, that'll be wonderful. And he wrote back and basically said, I can't see the emergency. And only a slave owner would think that it's an emergency to take children from a parent, and not an emergency to return them and then hold them without any type of order. I'm not officially doing any type of order because I know the criminal kind of activity that I'm doing, and he can't do an order in law. Not when she's acting like this. So here's and this is straight from Westlaw, because, you know, I always got my resources tight when it comes to law. The court has frequently emphasized the importance of the family. The rights to conceive and to raise one's children have been deemed essential. Mayer versus Nebraska. Basic civil rights of man. Skinner versus Oklahoma. And rights far more precious than property rights. Far more precious than property rights. May versus Anderson. That's the Supreme Court of the United States, boys and girls. And if judges just feel that okay, that they're just gonna hang up when you bring this up to them, they're just going to force you to be a fiction of the law and pound you into it and take your kids away with guns? And the people who are supposed to be protecting you are doing this? And that right is more sacred than your right to property. What do you think that means about your right to property here in the United States today? You better wake up. You better wake up quick. Because I said this when George Floyd got murdered. When George Floyd's family was calling for the arrest of that officer, and they were saying, well, we're investigating it, we don't know if we're going to do it or not, I was screaming, his family should go down there and swear out a warrant. And if they denied his family swearing out that warrant, then they shouldn't be allowed to swear out a warrant against anybody, ever, for any reason. They definitely shouldn't have had that warrant for Sierra. I mean, you want to know why the state can go with a fraudulent warrant and take Sierra's children? It's because we haven't been paying attention as Americans, as a society. I've been paying attention. I've been helping these people for years. And you know what people say so often when stuff like this happens? They say, it was her fault. It was her fault. Hey, the judge signed the warrant. It was signed. It's signed. All right. Hey, I'll sign a piece of paper. Why don't you come give me your kids? I mean, I'm signing a piece of paper. I'm judging you. Come give me your kids. Because if we don't get together and stand together and take care of this, it's all of us. It's all of us. We're doomed. We're done. Done. I am just conspiracy, and I just wish I could conspire with other good people of this planet. Right now, just to get some children back to their mother. Not even asking to try and hold on to the rights we have today. I damn sure ain't asking to try and get more. I'm just asking that we get these girls their mother. Because obviously the state doesn't care that much. People in charge, they don't care. And her own attorney seems to be annoyed with her. And the system probably hopes you just look at her as some poor brown girl. I hope you look at her as a woman who could be your sister. I hope we're not having a worse conversation than this next month.